That being said, you big dummies, you getting paid now.
It seems like everyone has an opinion about this situation now, and almost everyone is sharing their thoughts openly.
Opportunity to pull up their chair.
Let's be honest for a moment. Over the past year, Cheryl Swoops has repeatedly aimed unfair and strange accusations at Caitlin Clark. People claim she was a 25-year-old competing against teenagers, that her incredible rookie season wasn't impressive, and even suggested others didn't want to play alongside her. It felt like endless negativity.
Peers, they will recognize, her game, but they won't recognize her impact.
Right.
How can you separate the two? It's kind of
hard,
right?
And I used, Jax, you're absolutely right. And I was like, come on, you big dumb.
Just when it seemed like the criticism would never end, Cheryl Miller, a respected basketball expert and former coach of Caitlin Clark, finally spoke up. On the All the Smoke podcast, she shut down the rumors and called out Swoops for spreading nonsense, dismantling every false claim with clarity and confidence. Fans are thrilled to see Miller defend Clark so strongly. Her passionate support not only puts the critics in their place but also hints at surprising possibilities for the future of the Indiana Fever.
Player of the Year, two-time national championship, two-time tournament MVP, first woman to dunk in an organized game, gold medalist. Thank you for making time. Welcome to the show, Cheryl Miller.
Before we break down everything Cheryl Miller said, it's worth pausing for a moment. Have you ever wondered why a basketball legend would go so hard against one of the WNBA's brightest young stars? It's a question that deserves attention. Let's take a closer look at the unusual and ongoing campaign Cheryl Swoops has run against Caitlin Clark, a campaign that began back in Clark's college years and didn't stop, following her through her impressive rookie season and continuing even today.
Also talk about how much more experience that gives you over other players coming in, right? So people say, dang, like he or she's killing them, but you have a 25-year-old playing against a 20.
Everything started when Swoops made outrageous and completely false claims about Caitlin Clark's college career. Her most extreme accusation suggested Clark was a 25-year-old competing against much younger players at Iowa. In reality, Clark was just 22 and in her fourth year, the same as many other college seniors. When people pointed out the lie, Swoops tried to excuse it as exaggeration tied to eligibility rules. Her explanation was weak and didn't hold up at all, leaving fans frustrated with her constant misleading attacks.
Right now probably takes about 40 shots a game.
Carry on.
I know you like that.
Hell yeah.
I said that because when she comes to the league, regardless of what team she goes to that has vets on that team.
It's unlikely Clark was taking 40 shots a game, but Swoops wasn't done spreading false claims. She tried to make it seem like Clark was selfish on the court, painting her as a player who hogged the ball. In reality, Clark averaged about 22.7 shots per game, far from the exaggerated 40. The situation becomes even more ironic when you consider that Swoops herself took 19.2 shots per game during her senior year, just a few less than Clark. Criticizing someone while doing almost the same thing is a classic case of throwing stones from a glass house. When that story didn't stick, Swoops switched tactics, suggesting Clark might need a fifth year to break the NCAA scoring record.
Caitlin, if you're going to break a record, to me, if it's legitimate, you have to break that record in the same amount of time that that player set it.
Okay.
Right? So if Kelsey Plum set that record in 4 years, well, Caitlin should have broke that record in 4 years. But because there's a COVID year, and then there's another year, you know what I mean? So she's already had an extra year to break that record. So is it truly a broken record?
Was it really a broken record? Absolutely not. When Caitlin Clark joined the WNBA, Swoops claimed she wouldn't be able to stand out. But Clark quickly proved everyone wrong, breaking rookie assist records and showing she's one of the league's top playmakers. Many ignored the fact that she could have taken a fifth year in college under eligibility rules but chose not to. By the end of her first season, Clark averaged 19.2 points and led the league with 8.4 assists per game, completely silencing critics and earning the well-deserved title of Rookie of the Year.
She wouldn't be good. What I said was I didn't think Caitlin or Angel would come into the league and dominate immediately, which I don't think either of them did.
Respectfully,
There is absolutely no way, even when we're trying to sit here and play semantics about dominating, there's no way that anyone could ever leave this season in saying that both Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese didn't dominate. You would have to further explain what dominance means for you to not sit here and say that a player who is leading the league in assists while averaging 19 to 20 points didn't dominate.
One of the most revealing moments came when Swoops appeared on Angel Reese's podcast. She kept criticizing Clark while insisting she didn't dislike her. It was a clear example of saying one thing but doing the opposite, exposing the hypocrisy for everyone to notice and judge.
Cheryl, since she was in college, I helped do her shoe deal with Nike in 1993, took her to her first SBs. I've known Cheryl, I've coached her, have a lot of respect for her. I called her when Caitlin was still playing at Iowa and she had just broken Maravich's record. And it was all over the place, as you and I have discussed, that, you know, there was this quote by Cheryl that said, you know, Caitlin was, 25 years old. She was, however old, 24 years old. She was a fifth-year senior. Right. She was taking 40 shots a game. Her records were
As more people in the basketball world noticed the ongoing attacks, the criticism became impossible to ignore. This eventually had real consequences. Swoops was removed from broadcasting an Indiana Fever game and replaced by Nancy Lieberman, another legend, who wasn't afraid to challenge the false claims and set the record straight about the league's standout rookie.
Off the treadmill, and I called her as a friend, and I said, you can say whatever you want, you can have your own opinion about anybody, but you do have to get the statistics right. I mean, facts matter. And if you just get ahead of this and just say, hey, I made a mistake on my numbers, then this thing is over and everybody respects you for your opinion. And, you might like Boston, I might like the Yankees. It's okay to have difference of opinions. Well, she got upset with me on the phone, and I was like, Cheryl, I'm not doing anything to hurt you. I'm just sharing. We're talking. And so our relationship it pretty much is not happening at this point. I tried to talk to her at the Final Four. Right. She didn't want to talk to me. My life's going to be good or great with or without Cheryl Swoops.
The story really changed when Cheryl Miller appeared on the All the Smoke podcast and took down the critics. Finally, the basketball world had someone with real credibility speaking up about Caitlin Clark. When a true legend, who actually coached Clark, decides she's had enough of the false claims, it results in one of the strongest and most sincere defenses we've ever seen in women's basketball.
Jax, you're absolutely right. And I was like, come on, you big dummies. Is she getting hyped? Yes. But she was in the backyard. She was putting in.
Cheryl Miller reflected on the enormous pressure Caitlin Clark has faced, pointing out that constant criticism can make anyone feel like they have to prove themselves again and again, sometimes even beyond what's fair. It's hard to blame her for feeling that way. The harsh truth is that Clark's critics refuse to recognize how much she has boosted the league. Her presence has increased viewership, ticket sales, and media attention, benefits that extend to everyone involved, including those who have been so quick to judge her.
I can't fault her for what she.
After coaching Caitlin Clark in the 2025 WNBA All-Star Game, Cheryl Miller got a first-hand look at her skills beyond the highlights and media hype. Seeing Clark up close left her genuinely impressed. This personal experience is what makes Miller's defense so strong, credible, and impossible for anyone to simply ignore or dismiss.
I mean, look, as much as she was given, you can't tell me if that door would have swung the other way where she didn't live up to the hype.
Right.
Come on, folks are still waiting for her to fall.
Exactly.
Come on.
Yep.
So, with that being said, you big dummies, you getting paid.
Cheryl Miller said she was relieved to see that the negative stories about Caitlin Clark weren't true. With that statement, she carefully unraveled months of false media claims. She went further, sharing her own unique perspective on what makes Clark so talented, cutting through all the distractions and focusing on the real truth about her skills and impact.
Recently coached the WNBA All-Star Game. You spent some time with Caitlin Clark.
Best coaching job ever.
Best coaching job
Best
ever.
coaching job ever.
Being around Caitlin Clark, how was the experience for her? She's such a big star. I mean, the sky's the limit for her. To be around her, just talk about the type of person she is and how much she loves the game.
I'm going to be honest because it needs to be said. I can relate to that young lady, and I felt for her. I know what it's like to be hated. I know what it's like to be a black woman and hated because.
Miller's detailed breakdown of Clark's on-court skills is impressive, but what stands out even more is the deep emotional bond she formed with Clark during her toughest moments. This was obvious when the Fever won their first game of the 2025 season. Miller didn't just praise Clark, she offered heartfelt, unconditional support when the rookie needed it most.
Can't imagine this young lady, I don't want to use hate, but despised. And people just having, she brought some on herself a little bit because she's cocky for a good reason.
Confident.
And I love that about her. But to watch the dynamics and the media, they had their narrative. And I was pleased and proud to see the narrative wasn't.
After the Fever's first win, Miller and Clark shared a hug that meant much more than a simple greeting. It showed how isolated Clark had felt amid the constant criticism during her league debut. Miller remembered the moment vividly. She hugged Clark as tightly as she could, and Clark exclaimed, "Finally, someone on my side." Miller added that Clark had been hit with negativity from every direction.
Her past, and I didn't know how talented she was and how well she sees the game in a 3D version, thinker. Defensively, a lot better than I thought and gave her credit for. So watching her and just spending a little time. And one thing, guys, that I've learned is to step back and let these kids be them.
In that tense moment, Miller offered advice that came from real experience, not empty words. Her guidance was a lifeline for a rookie struggling under pressure and constant scrutiny. She told Clark, "I'm very proud of you," and encouraged her to use the experience as a guide, but always stay true to herself, no matter what challenges came her way.
I was getting hit with everything left and right, and I just said, I hugged her, I said, "I'm so proud of you." I go, savor this, use this as a formula. I said, but keep being you. I said, no matter what, keep. It's a crown that she's wearing right now.
Right.
And it wasn't something that she anointed herself. It's something that's been placed on her head, and I hope people understand that. But it's everything that she.
When Cheryl Miller speaks, the basketball world listens, and for good reason. Her legacy is unmatched, with 3 Naismith Player of the Year awards, 2 national titles, an Olympic gold medal, and a place in the Hall of Fame. But her support for Caitlin Clark goes beyond achievements. She recognizes Clark's incredible court vision, making her more than just a scorer. Seeing a legend defend a rising star is inspiring. Share your thoughts in the comments, subscribe, and turn on notifications to stay updated.